That's kind of the general theme of the book, is how to never accept the idea that, oh, because something happened to me, therefore I couldn't accomplish something. No. If I didn't accomplish something, it's my fault. If I got sick, it's my fault. And not necessarily even fault, it's my responsibility, really. Fuck faults. Faults, yeah, it plays a role. Even Mark Manson's book talks about this, the difference between faults and responsibility. This is also another thing you're going to find in therapy. If you dive deep into therapy, good therapists will show you and appreciate and help you with the concept, the difference between responsibility and faults, because it is important. But Jocko is all about responsibility. Take responsibility for yourself. Just like that standard directive we just went over, it is, you need to take responsibility. You need to be aware of what you're thinking every minute of the day and take responsibility for every influence. If somebody influences you to do something stupid, that's on you. You let him influence you, and it's your responsibility. And I think that's good advice. A lot of his advice in this book, one, he makes it super actionable, which is a huge pro for me. That's a huge pro to this book, is it's very easy to understand the book. It's a very entertaining book. He makes it very actionable. The good advice that he has in there for helping yourself become a better person or a better version of yourself or a more effective, more successful version of yourself, I think is very effective, very, very pertinent information and very important. But I can also admit that it can be draining, man. That the reality is this is much closer to meditations, the stoicism. The Jocko himself is very close to being like a modern day stoic, where, yeah, it's your fault. It's your responsibility. Everything in your life is your responsibility. Okay. And it can kind of get to a point where it gets a little overwhelming. Right? The thought that, if my girlfriend walks out of the bedroom right now and stubs her fucking toe, that's my responsibility. It can get a little intense where it's like, okay, there's some things that I need to back up on. There's certain things in life where, if this is the case, then the thing is, a lot of people can read this book and get overwhelmed by the proposal of nonstop responsibility all day, every single aspect of your life. And it can lead people, and it led me to a certain extent to think, okay, well then I'm going to take Mark Manson's advice and cut down on my responsibility, which isn't a bad thing, but that means cut down on my friends. That means cut down on, there's a large portion. When I was reading this book in my life, I was hell no on a girlfriend. When I read this, the moment in my life where I was reading this book, I was on no dating websites. I was not looking for a girlfriend. If a pretty girl walked up to me in public, I was like, nope, I'm good. Like, I'm just walking this way. And it wasn't that I ever had an issue. It wasn't like I was some MGTOW, oh, I don't want to be around women kind of thing. No. Hey, bro, I was totally would like to, but I don't want the responsibility. That's the reality. That's where I was at that point in my life, is cut down on responsibility. And this book was kind of a big aspect of that, where I just was like, okay, well, I can jive with the idea of taking full responsibility of every aspect of my life. But that means that in order to make that less overwhelming and more doable, then I need to cut down on the responsibilities in my life. And I need to cut down on being responsible, on how many people are in my life that I need to be responsible to. So yeah, that was, that's, I would say, a potential con with the book. There's always, I always say, there's always such thing as a good thing. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. Poof, that was hard to get out. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. That is one of my big pieces of advice for myself, right? If you like it, you can take it for yourself too. It's free of charge. You're very welcome. Yeah, there is absolutely such thing as too much of a good thing. And I don't give a fuck if it's air, if it's water, you breathe it, you drink too much water, you fucking die. It's not drowning, actually. It's called water poisoning. Your cells break apart because they can't hold themselves together anymore, and you hemorrhage from the inside out. You literally liquefy your own organs. And yeah, it can happen. It's rare, but it did happen in 2018 was the last recorded instance of it last time I checked. A young girl was at a rave and drank too much water and liquefied her own insides. Yeah, it can happen, bro. So, too much of anything is a bad thing, right? Spending too much time with one person can be a bad thing. Spending too much time in the gym can be a bad thing. Spending too much time doing what you love can be a bad thing. It's always possible to have too much of a good thing and fuck it up. And end up not enjoying it anymore. You know, that happens. I did that with pizza. You can ask my cutie pie. Bro, I fucking love pizza. I eat pizza every weekend, and that's not enough pizza in my life. That is me exercising responsibility over my pizza intake. But I fucking love pizza, bro. So much. And I have gotten to a point in my life. There was one moment in my life, man, where I ate so much fucking pizza that I had to stop eating pizza for like 6 months. And it was a very sad moment in my life, man, because life without pizza is just like, why am I here? You know, like if I can't have this amazing culinary delight, then what the fuck are we even here for, bro? Just burn it all down then. Hit the fucking red button, blow us all up. I wasn't that suicidal, but I was very upset about the fact that pizza was kind of disgusting because I just ate too much and had to wean myself off, stay away from pizza for a while before I can jump back into eating pizza. And so you can do this with everything in your life. There's always too much of a good thing. And yes, there is such thing as too much responsibility. And there is such thing as taking too much ownership over shit, right? Like the earlier example, right? You're sitting in your house and your girlfriend stubs her toe. Well, you can't take ownership over that. There's no responsibility to take for that, right? And Jocko does come across as the kind of guy who would take ownership over that. And if you didn't, you would be failing. So it can get a little too intense. For some people, they're not going to like the Navy SEAL mentality. They're not going to like the war stories. Some people just do not want to hear war stories. They're not entertained by that. And so this book I totally would not recommend to them. Some people do not like that kind of like in your face, like get it done, standard directive. You know, they don't like that military talk or whatever. So they don't want it. They don't want to fuck with it. If that's you, then this book is definitely not for you because the whole book is written in that tone of voice. That thing you just watched, that's the whole fucking book, bro. That is the whole book. So, so if that isn't what you like, then this book is not for you. And I wouldn't recommend it. That would be a con for some people. His intensity can be a con for some people. And the fact that a part of the book is about leadership instead of self-help is a con for some people. There was a con for me who doesn't give a fuck about leading other people. It's just not bad bag of tricks, bro. I'm not out in the world trying to be a leader for nobody. I'm out trying to lead myself, become a better person for myself. But that's what I'm trying to do, right? So, but there's a lot of good prose in there. Like I said, if you love the war stories, it's a fucking entertaining book. The book is so simple. You cannot fuck it up. There's a lot of good lessons in there. I do believe in taking ownership of your life. That is very important. I do believe in controlling your own thoughts, controlling your own surroundings, things like that. Very important. And he has a lot of very useful tools like that in the book, right? So there's a pro for you. I recommend this book because it is so easy, because it is so easy to follow. And it is so unique in the way it goes about the information. It might not have unique advice, but it is very unique in the way that it goes about the advice, and it is foolproof. It is hard for you to fuck it up. And for some people, that extra added bonus of it being about leadership is going to be something that they're going to want and is something that they're going to look for. And I do think there is a lot to say. I don't care what anybody thinks about it. Some people, for some reason, scoff at this, and I think it's so weird that you can't see the obviousness of this because it's worked for thousands of years before you were ever here, and you have this weird thing in your head where you think this is silly. But there is people out there, a lot of them are men. I would say it's mostly men, young boys, and mostly men, though, specifically, that responds to being talked to with that matter-of-fact, no bullshit, military-esque kind of voice. It is. For some reason, there's people, mostly dudes, not all dudes for sure, and there's women who do too, but there's people out there who they just respond better with that kind of in-your-face, loud, clean-cut, this is what you have to do, no bullshit, okay? This is what I'm telling you to do. This is how you do it. Get it done by this amount of time. Go. Don't ask me no questions. Fuck off. You know, and some people respond better to that. And I am one of those people where Jocko's book, I clicked with it because I really enjoyed that tone of voice. That, for some people, it kicks your ass into gear. There's a reason drill sergeants fucking yell at you. I don't know what it is with some people where they can't understand this concept where it's like, no, that kicks a lot of people's ass into gear. To have a fucking drill sergeant on your ass telling you what's going to do, it can a lot of people. Some people it doesn't. Some people it crumbles them. It's too much. It's too much for them to handle, and that's perfectly fine. Decide what kind of person you are. Know what kind of person you are, and then make decisions accordingly. But for some people, yeah, man, exactly. Hey, what's going on, Bundy? How are you doing? Fucking nice to see you in here, man. I don't usually see you in here for the Mental Health Mondays, so it's nice to see you on stream, man. Hope you had a good day at work too. But yeah, man, that aggressive tone of voice definitely motivates me. It motivates a lot of people. I don't know why some people, I see that a lot on the internet where people think it's silly. And, it can be silly. Like I said, it is really funny to watch Jocko Willink when he's in that tone because he's so stereotypical drill sergeant-esque kind of person that it makes me kind of laugh a little bit. And in that sense, it is kind of a little bit funny, but I don't think it's ridiculous. I think it's very logical. That tone of voice absolutely amps some people up. And yeah, so if you are the kind of person who responds to that kind of tone of voice, that kicks your ass into gear, then Jocko is your man.